evening. This regular meeting of the Township Council is being held in accordance with the scheduled meetings of the Township Council established and adopted by the Township Council, which schedule designated the time, date, and place of this meeting. Adequate public notice of this meeting has been provided pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act. We are using electronic amplifying and recording device in order to obtain a clear and audible record, and we request all those wishing to speak be recognized and state your name and address directly to the microphone. The recording device will be solely utilized by the Township Clerk's Office for the official record of the Township Council meetings. Madam Clerk, may I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Hutchison.
Present.
Mr. Owens.
He is on vacation.
Mrs. Stubbs.
She is ill tonight.
Mrs. Winters. Here. Mr. Mignon.
Here.
Mrs. Trotta. Here. Mr. Mercado.
Present.
Mr. Parliament.
Here.
Mr. Cardis.
Here.
Mr. Lechner. Chief
Here.
Earl.
Here.
Mr. Chadwell.
Here. We now have our first public portion. This is for agenda items only. Anyone wishing to speak, please raise your hand. Seeing none, close the first public portion. Waive the reading and accept the minutes of regular meeting September 10th, 2018, September 24th, 2018, October 10th, 2018, October 22nd, 2018, November 14th, 2018, November 26th, 2018, December 10th, 2018, and December 26th, 2018. I entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
Thank you. On the question, roll call, please.
Mr. Hutchison.
Yes to all except for the September 10 and October 10 meeting minutes.
Mrs. Winters.
Yes, except for September 24th and December 10th.
Mr. Mignon.
Yes to all, but I abstain from November 26th.
Mrs. Trotta.
Yes to all, but I abstain from September 10th, November 14th, and December 10th.
Mr. Mercado.
Yes.
Bid report, risk management consultant.
May I have a motion, please?
Second.
On the question, roll call, please.
Mr. Hutchison.
Yes.
Mrs. Winters.
Yes.
Mr. Mignon.
Yes.
Mrs. Trotta.
Yes.
Mr. Mercado.
Yes. Next, we have ordinance. This is the first reading. There will not be a hearing on this until the second reading. It's ordinance 0-19-02. It's ordinance amending Chapter 5 of the Code of the Township of Gloucester, entitled Personnel Policy and Procedures of the Code of the Township of Gloucester. This is amending the donated leave program to be in compliance with civil service laws. Mr. Cardis, is there anything you want to add to that?
No, we already had this policy in effect through a personal policy procedural manual, in effect through the union contract. This is just bringing us into compliance with civil service, which is required by law.
All right, thank you very much. I entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Mr. Hutchins. Is there a second?
I'll second.
On the question, roll call, please.
Mr. Hutchison.
Yes.
Mrs. Winters.
Yes.
Mr. Mignon.
Yes.
Mrs. Trotta.
Yes.
Mr. Mercado.
Yes. Next is ordinance, second reading, public hearing, ordinance 0-1901. I'm asking to table that second reading.
Move the table.
No, just on the,
Sorry.
see if there's a second, go ahead.
Is there a second?
Yes. Second.
I would
Mr.
recommend
Parliament.
that you move it to a set date, and you can announce tonight that that would be the schedule for the second reading. The reason that's happening for the public is that the recommendation has not come back from the planning board as yet. So if you set a second reading on a certain date, it'll make that agenda, and you're announcing it tonight that anyone that might want to have been interested in that public hearing, that will be held on a certain date.
Mr. Lechner, do you anticipate, as the secretary of the planning board, that this will be heard at the next planning board meeting?
It will be heard at the next scheduled planning board meeting. The 12th has been canceled, so it'll be heard on February 26th.
Okay.
So it's going to push you into...
So for our first meeting on March 11th, 2019, our second reading. Thank you, Mr. Lechner.
You're welcome.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
Mr. Hutchison.
Yes.
Mrs. Winters.
Yes.
Mr. Mignon.
Yes.
Mrs. Trotta.
Yes.
Mr. Mercado.
Yes, to table. Next, we have our resolutions on the consent agenda. Any council member that would like to move any item on the consent agenda, please speak up. Hearing none, entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. On the question, roll call, please.
Mr. Hutchison.
Yes.
Mrs. Winters.
Yes.
Mr. Mr. Mignon?
Yes.
Mrs. Estrada?
Yes.
Mr. Mercado?
Yes. We did not receive any GTE Gov access emails. We'll now open up our second public portion. Anyone wishing to speak on any item, please raise your hand. Mr. Polidoro.
Good evening, Council. Ray Polidor from the Historic Village of Ariel. Two quick questions. For this year's budget, which I know will be brought to Council in April, is there any anticipation of a proposal what the budget will look like this year?
Mr. Cardis?
No, to be honest with you. The state, in fact, just sent out an email extending the due date for the annual financial statements unaudited, which is an important document in order to complete the budget because it's all the revenue side. The reason for that is they're trying to implement their FAST system, which isn't very fast as far as I'm concerned. And also our CFO had a death in the family, so she's still working on the AFS. So I don't anticipate having numbers for another 2 weeks or so.
Okay. First, our condolences to Chris's family. Hasn't the state in the past that has delayed that action put you in a position of having to get things expedited to make the about April deadline? Is this the same situation that they are generally put you in that position?
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, it seems every year it's delayed. I think this year more so than any of the past years, again, because of the FAS system. Without that annual financial statement unaudited, we won't have our surplus numbers, we won't have our realized revenue numbers, and that's all crucial to put.
Okay. Next question, also is a general question. Other than your consolidating or whatever you were doing with previous bonds, any for this year, do you anticipate any new bonds that will need to be brought forth?
There will be a capital budget put together, and we will bring that before council. That has not been completed as of this date. You know, whether that once that is approved as a bond, assuming it's approved as a bond ordinance, whether that becomes a note right away or if that's consolidated into a bond issue, because we have several notes outstanding presently, that remains to be seen. I can't answer that question.
But it would be, you would need any new bond for capital? That would be the only circumstance you see that?
Remember, I'm going to go one-on-one again. You do a bond, you have a list of projects, you do a bond ordinance that can have anything, streets, drainage, trucks, whatever. Then you decide when are we going to borrow the money. Then you have two options, notes or permanently financing. So right now we have a bunch of bond ordinances with different projects in it that are all in the form of notes. We haven't moved to permanently finance yet. So when this bond ordinance is completed, it probably will become a note. And then, I sound like a guy talking about a bill, the bill on the hill. Yeah. The note then will become a bond along with all the other outstanding notes.
Okay.
And that will probably be in the area of somewhere around 27 million.
Okay. And my last question, California, like New Jersey, is giving people quite a chuckle, but not when it comes to their tax dollars. The new chuckle at our expense is what has been labeled the governor's rain tax for freshwater runoff. If Gloucester Township feels the need to raise funds for that by way of tax, which would be through the MUA, before it goes to the MUA, will it come before council? And will it be a resolution that would have to be passed before the MUA is allowed to produce a brand new tax burden onto the people?
Ray, I haven't read into it, so I can't comment on it.
Okay.
I I saw a headline, and I just kept going. I thought it was, to be honest, I thought it was a joke. When I saw it, so I had to take a look.
Well, let me ask you this in a general statement then. If more revenues were to be raised via the MUA, other than their regular fees, would it normally come before this body?
No, MUA, the rate increases go through directly to the MUA,
Okay.
not to the council.
Because I thought there was some, as we were learning about the freshwater runoff to MUA, they're giving local governments and/or MUAs that opportunity for tax revenues with that. My understanding of MUA, which I think we have one too many of already, is sewage and processing, where rainwater would be more accustomed to a pipe that's there that runs it to a stream, creek, or waterway. Would that still fall, in your opinion, would that fall under the guise of the MUA?
I can't really comment on that. I got to read what that is, to be honest
Okay,
with you.
we'll study up, we'll talk about it again. Thank you, hope everybody has a safe night.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, we'll close the second public portion. Polling of directors.
Mr. Carlemere?
Nothing to report.
Mr. Cardis?
Nothing to report.
Mr. Lechner?
I have nothing to report, thanks.
Chief Earl?
Nothing to report, thank you.
Mr. Chadwell?
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Hutchison?
Thank you very much for coming this evening. Have a safe trip home.
Mrs. Winters?
Thank you for coming, have a safe trip home, and be careful tomorrow.
Mr. Mignon?
Same thing, thank you all for coming tonight. Be safe going home and be safe tomorrow.
Mrs. Strato?
Thank you, and be careful also.
Mr. Mercado?
I want to thank our Public Works Department, our Police Department. When we have these flurries and things that happen, these storms forthcoming, that they are present and out. And also, at our next meeting on the 25th, we'll be celebrating Black History Month with our honorees from the township. So if you can be here at 7:30, I appreciate it.
Just on the storm, because, the forecast tomorrow is a little dicey. We will be ready with salt trucks, planning on as early as 4 o'clock in the morning, so we can make sure that the buses are safe, getting to work, everybody's safe.
Thank you. With that, entertain a motion to adjourn. So moved. Good.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Have a great evening, everyone. Good night.
Our development terrestrial, where,
That's a big.
and many years ago, they must have followed the Title V.
I couldn't hear for anything.
What is that?
I was saying, go ahead.
Like 21-1.3. They made the lines 9 feet wide and 18 feet long. And yeah, we want, because we're trying to improve the look and ultimately the property value of the place. We want to just make, instead of 18 feet, maybe 10 feet. So they don't go past.
I was so 4 o'clock, but if they're early, you want us to call Kevin.
These are the signs.
Somebody else will call.
Oh, no.